Hi, my name's Leonie Bolt, and I went from high school troublemaker and long-time backpacker to accidental entrepreneur. After 15 years working as a professional photographer and running my own studio, I grew into becoming a personal empowerment and business mentor to help other women to follow their passions and find their purpose too. I've learnt to pave my own way through life, and now I empower others to do the same, to break through their limiting beliefs and empower them to shine. Welcome to the Empowered to Shine podcast, where we dive deep into creating a life by your own design. Welcome to the Empowered to Shine podcast. Our guest today is Mel Daniels, who is a content strategist and coach, and she empowers women to use content in a really genuine way to get themselves out there. She also likes peanut butter and sultana sandwiches, and probably much the same as me, she loves hanging out in her kitchen and also at the gym. So welcome, Mel.
Thank you so much for that amazing intro, Leonie. I think it's so funny how you picked up on the peanut butter and sultana sandwich.
I can do that on celery. I don't know how I feel about it in a sandwich, but
yeah, it's absolutely delicious. It's absolutely delicious. Trust me, listeners, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, what shall I have for lunch today? Try a peanut butter and sultana sandwich. Brilliant.
I love it. It's something new. We should all try it. So, Mel, tell us a little bit about your journey and what brought you to being the content strategist.
Wow. And yes, what an amazing journey that I've had as well. Like most women in business, I started my business because I wanted that flexibility in life. So I graduated from university, went straight into a graduate program job in one of the major 4 banks and worked there for 11 years. And I absolutely loved it, Leonie. It was just amazing. I had so many different roles and opportunities, and I was extremely successful. I fell pregnant, as you do, and had my first child. And I had every intention of going back to that role because I just loved it so much. I loved the people. I loved everything about it. But the universe had different ideas for us, our little family. My husband was lucky enough to land a role in the UK. So we actually moved with a 6-month-old baby. We moved to the UK, and that's where I had my second child as well. So he ended up being there for 2 years. I tried to get extended leave at the time, except they wouldn't give it to me. So I was like, well, I have to resign. And I did. And that was the beginning of my full-time mum life, which I also absolutely loved, Leonie. I really feel like that I was born to be a mum, and I just loved every aspect of it. We were there for a few years in the UK, and we came home and still stayed a full-time mum, looking after the kids, doing the volunteering at school, all that sort of stuff, which was so much fun. And then kind of get to that point in life, don't you, where it's like, it's time to do something for me. It's time to do something.
Especially if you've had this really vibrant corporate job or any sort of job that you kind of sink your teeth into, then all of a sudden you're a mum and you're kind of just doing the home stuff.
Exactly. And I think that a lot of mums in that process lose their confidence, don't they? And I was one of those people, but probably not to a degree as some people, but I had lost a bit of my confidence, and I knew that I didn't want to go back to the corporate life after that. So as much as I enjoyed it, it was not going to be for me and my new season of life. I was after something that was far more flexible. So an opportunity came up with one of my friends who's a lawyer, and I went and worked with her just to get her through a busy period. And I was like, I think that there's a lot of women out there who run their own businesses, who are solopreneurs, who really do need that extra help, and someone that they can really rely on, like someone that they can trust and rely on. So I ended up starting a virtual assistant business. That was about 5 years ago, and learned so much along the way. Like when you start out in business, and this, Leonie, my goodness, it's such a learning curve, isn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like you're just taking on all this stuff. I really fell into like niching with my content. I loved writing emails for women in business and writing their blogs. And so I decided to kind of then really focus on that. So about a year ago, or just less than a year ago, I really took a step out and started calling myself a content strategist and coach, because it was something that I really loved and I was really good at as well. So that's kind of been my journey to where I am today.
Excellent. And I love that, you found the new passion and you just went straight into it. And obviously when you follow your passion and you find your purpose, things just flow, don't they? Like the work just starts coming.
Hello. Yes, I would have to say absolutely yes. And you can kind of take that to all facets of your life as well. So, just as a small example, about 18 months ago, I went to an amazing retreat, and what came out of that was clarifying my purpose, but also articulating a particular goal. And one of my goals was to be on, I think, like 3 podcasts within the next year or something like that. Mm-hmm. So it's been 18 months and it's been about 20. So, once you find that thing that really lights you up, it just seems to happen. And the decisions and the opportunities really, really come your way.
Yeah, and podcasts are just another form of content, aren't they? You've got your video, you've got your blogs, you've got your emails. It's just another form of content.
Absolutely, and it's a really important form of content as well. So I really encourage people to have at least one piece of focus or core content. And so that's either a blog, a podcast, or a video. And the reason being is that once you have that one piece of core content that you're continually and consistently putting out into the world, you can then reimagine it. So you can repurpose it and reuse it in so many different ways, which means that you can create more content in less time, which is kind of my purpose to bring to women, that content creation can be so overwhelming and so burdensome for some people and can be such a horrible thing to do, but it can be joyous and it can be easy. You just need to know the right way to go about doing it.
Absolutely. And like you said, focus on the one thing that you're really good at and repurpose it. So for those of you that are listening, we are also doing video. So this particular podcast also goes on YouTube and also goes on my website. And then, my clients, my guests can also use it for their content too. And then you can quotes out of it, and you can create graphics, and you can do short little snippet videos. You can do so much from one piece. You don't have to focus on doing all the things, then you can put it into an email to your clients and go, hey, we've just released this podcast. Like, there's so much you can do with one piece if you just focus on one thing.
Absolutely. Gold star, Leonie. Gold star for doing all those things. I'm so impressed. But yes, you're exactly right. By taking one piece of core content, you can reimagine it in so many different ways. So my piece of core content is a blog, because I love to write. That's the way that I communicate. I love to do it, and it's one of my strengths as well. So from that blog, I pull out so many different things. So it's quotes from me. It's tips that I share both on my page, on Instagram, Facebook, in Facebook groups on wisdom days and, genius tip days, that kind of thing. They come straight out of my blogs. They're just there ready, waiting for me to pick out and put in. I turn them into Facebook Live. So once a fortnight, I will do a Facebook Live on the topic of the blog that's I've just released. Instagram stories, just picking out one piece of the blog and doing an Instagram story that week. There's just so many possibilities. But, and I think that you touched on this before, Leonie, it's really important not to put the pressure on yourself to do all the things, because once you do that, you start feeling heavy and overwhelmed with it all, and it just does not serve you well to do that.
Absolutely. So focus on what you're good at, and then when you start to create some content for the month or the week or whatever sort of works for you, you just revisit and circle back and go, okay, what have I already done that I can kind of pull some pieces out of and repurpose?
Yep, exactly. Love it.
Love it. And you also help your clients to let go of that feeling like they need to do everything and focus on the funnels that are working for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that in all of this, the core of what I teach is all around checking in with the time, energy, and resources that you have available to yourself. So, I always joke and say that the 21-year-old pre-kids me would be churning out content like no woman's business. I would have so much energy, I would have so much enthusiasm, I have so much time to be able to do it. The 45-year-old mum of 2 teens and a puppy, not so much, So I really check in with the time and the energy that I have available. I'm lucky I have resources available to me. So I have a couple of beautiful team members that help me with the whole reimagination side of my content. So I'm really, really in tune with the time, the energy and resources I have available to myself. And therefore, I find content creation joyous and easy because I don't put that pressure on myself to do the things. So yes, I could be on LinkedIn, Pinterest, Clubhouse. Hello. Oh, my goodness. New kid on the block. Facebook, Instagram. I could be in all those places, but I just don't have the time, the energy, or the resources right now. I'm not saying that, in maybe a year's time, I might have a few more team members and I might be able to do that. The option is still there. I'm not closed off to it. But at the moment, in this point in time in my life, I'm very, very conscious of the time, energy, and resources I have. So therefore, I'm just on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just focus on one or two. And then, from there, when you do have the resources, you can build that. And I think it's really important too, what you were saying about building the team. I know you've got a little team. I've got a little team. I certainly couldn't do all the things if I didn't have that. But it's about being smart to be able to balance out your life, because you're not working just for the sake of, seeing how many hours you can work in a day.
Exactly. That is so true. And I feel very blessed that I have a couple of team members, a couple of beautiful mums who, were probably in the same position that I was 4 or 5 years ago, in that had no confidence and, wanted to do something but not quite sure what, and wanted to work around the kids. But, workplaces back then were quite inflexible. So to be able to, empower them to be on my team as well is kind of a bit of an added bonus.
Exactly. And that's exactly how I've built my team as well. It's about supporting the other women around you. I have a lady that works with me here in the studio that does some admin work, and we worked together probably over 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
In a logistics position. And she'd been a stay-at-home mum for 7 years and just really needed to put her teeth into something. And she loves being able to converse with the women on the phone all the time and build those relationships, because I don't necessarily always have the time. Mm-hmm. So my clients build a relationship with her as well as with me, which is great. Yes. And then I've got a VA in the Philippines, but she's a single mum, and I love knowing that I'm also supporting her and her family.
Yeah, no, that's really beautiful. And I think that, this is, really what you're all about. So I know is, empowering women, and we can empower women in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be, what work that we do or what our business is. It can be in other areas of our life as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, we were just sort of talking about empowering other women. I know you're all about community over competition as well, which I am as well. So even if somebody is doing the same thing as you, they're going to have different people that are attracted to them. So, and if you get overworked, you're going to be able to, refer your client to somebody else if you just don't have the time. So it's really important to have that community over competition, because there's enough clients out there for everybody.
Yeah, and I think that that's where people really fall down on that thought process. Is there is enough work out there for all of us? There really, really is. And, whether someone chooses you over someone that you consider a competitor, it's all about you. You are the unique difference between you and your competitors, and how you show up with your content, how you show up, just in life and in business, just really, really reflects the type of person that you are. So I don't feel like that we need to look at our competition as something bad. It's just, there is definitely enough people in the world, enough clients in the world for us to serve all of them. So, yeah.
That's exactly right. And, you just walk your own path. People are going to be attracted to you because they relate to you, and that comes through your content. So, however you're showing up, the language that you're using, the position in your life, the trials and tribulations you've been through, all of those things, that is what's going to attract people to you. And your life is completely different to anybody else. Every book that you've ever read, every movie you've ever watched, every client you've ever had to deal with is completely different to the next person.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really believe that content has two main purposes. And the first is to move your client through a journey with you from not knowing anything about you to all the way to becoming a raving fan. But the second purpose is to showcase who you are, to showcase your brand, your personality, your values, your purpose, what you stand for, what you don't stand for, all of those things. So by using content in a purposeful way, then you're really going to be able to showcase the difference between you and your competitors anyway.
Absolutely. So what do you say to people that come to you and say, I don't have any content, I don't have any ideas, I don't know where to start?
Oh, I say you do. Absolutely you do. So I really feel like that you need to take baby steps with your content, especially when you have a limiting belief like that, because we all have so much knowledge, we all have so much experience, and we have, like we've already discussed, a different life to the next person, and we have some sort of story to bring to the world. I go through this little process in a course that I run where we mind map everything that we could possibly talk about in our content. And I guarantee people that they will come up with a year's worth of content through that process. But besides the amount of content that they actually come out knowing, just the shift in their confidence in knowing that they do have so much stuff that they can actually talk about is phenomenal. So if you're really stuck with your content, I really encourage you to go back to the source of your business. Okay, so some people call these pillars, but I call them source themes in your business. So have a think about what it is you actually provide to your ideal client. So for me, it's content strategy, but it's also things like email marketing, blogs, social media. So, I can kind of expand it like that. So what do you bring to your clients? Then think about also your purpose around that. So why are you doing what you do? Think about who you're actually serving. So kind of generalize or categorize them. And then also think about things that are going on in your life at the moment that people may relate to. So they might be things going on in your business. So for me, it might be, doing courses to scale your business. So, my audience would be interested in that sort of thing. And it's something that I'm going through at the moment. So I can bring that to the table as well. So just go back to the basics and really think about those things that your business brings to your ideal client. But then on top of that, also think about your values. And I think that this is a really great way to help people see who you are as well. If you haven't done a values exercise, strongly recommend that you go and do one and come up with, top 5, top 10 values, and you can talk about those. So yeah, I think everyone has something to say.
Absolutely. And those shared values are going to bring in your ideal clients as opposed to the people that you don't necessarily want to work with, because they're always the difficult clients,
Yes.
the ones that you wish you'd said no to in the beginning. So if you're sharing your values, they all automatically aren't going to resonate with you, and that's okay.
Yes, it's totally okay. It's okay for people not to resonate with you. And it's really good that they don't resonate with you, because you're not them wasting your time and energy on them. And then they actually get to go and find someone that they really would love to work with as well. So
Absolutely. And I know you help your clients with the customer journey. What does that look like? I know that's such a big question. What does that look like? But for people that are just sort of going, okay, I don't understand what a customer journey is, obviously it's touch points. How do you help your clients to build those touch points into their business?
Yeah, okay. So my version of the client journey goes from goes through 5 different stages. You connect with your ideal client, then they subscribe to your email list. You get to nurture them. they convert, which means that they purchase from you, and you have the onboarding process, which allows you to turn them into raving fans. So I really love the client journey to explain the sales process to people. It's far more relationship-based and connection-based than the traditional sales funnel. So a lot of people would know the term sales funnel if they have researched marketing or done any marketing for their business. So the sales funnel concept is all about numbers. It's all about getting as many people into your world as you possibly can, and then pushing them through a funnel and hope like some will spill out the sides, and then, you know, hoping that some will actually make it to the bottom and purchase. Once they do, that's great. Let's move on. Let's find some more people. So it's all about the transaction. Whereas I like to kind of switch that around and encourage my clients to think of the sales process as a journey that you have with your ideal client. They may wander off the path every now and then, but hopefully they will come back to you through your nurture process as an example. So if they're on your email list, then you can actually use the nurture sequences to keep them engaged with what you do. You can put them into Facebook groups. You can do all sorts of different things. But the minute that you look at the sales process from a relationship-based or connection-based rather than sales-based, it just kind of changes everything, and it changes the way that you approach your content as well. Yeah. Instead of going, oh, okay, I have to do a blog today, I have to do an email next week. It's like, you come from a place of service. You get to serve your clients. Oh, excellent. I know I get to write an email today to my ideal clients. It's a different perspective.
Absolutely. And like you said, when you nurture your client and you're creating those connections, yeah, they may wander off the path, but if you continue to nurture them, it's likely that they're going to come back. And instead of always trying to get new clients, which is so much harder and costs so much more money when you're trying to get new people every single time, you just keep those same clients and bringing them in for new things that you're bringing out. So it's that return client. Like you said, they become raving fans. They tell all of their friends, and it's a lot less energy and a lot less money that you're spending trying to get new people in your business.
I know, it's win-win, right? So why aren't we all using a client journey instead of a funnel? I don't know.
Awesome. So, Mel, you've got something coming out 1st of May, isn't it? Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, I will. Thank you, Leonie. So we touched on it briefly before when we were talking about brainstorming ideas, but Master Your Content is my 4-week group program that I have. And I help women go from really like confused chaos into clarity with their content. So we just walk through 4 modules during the 4 weeks. It's very, very simple, but it's a process that they come out at the end just feeling far more in control of their content. They learn how to come up with a year's worth of ideas for their content, how to reimagine that content, how to actually structure their content as well so it gets read and consumed, and then how to plan for the future as well. So how to keep that momentum happening with their content.
Love it. And it sounds so simple, which is great, because we're all busy, and 4 weeks we can all put that into our business, right?
I hope so.
So Mel, where can people find you? What's your business? Where can we find you?
So you can find me at Meld Business Services. That's MELD, meldbusinessservices.com.au. And my handles for both Insta and Facebook are at Meld Business. I also do have a Facebook group. If you want to learn more about content and just collaborate with other service-based business owners, then you can find us at The Content Project.
Perfect. Excellent. So those will be in the show notes. If you're on the website, you can go there and find the details for Mel's business and her upcoming program. Thanks so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you so much, Leonie. Absolute pleasure. And yeah, I just really appreciate your time.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for listening to the Empowered to Shine podcast. My name's Leonie Bolt, and I'm glad that you were able to join us today. I hope you got some serious inspiration from today's episode. If you'd like to find more episodes, go to leoniebolt.com/podcasts or start subscribing on your favorite podcast streaming channel. I look forward to seeing you again soon.